Welcome to PodWeCast. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more great content. And if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Let's dive in.
Aloha, everyone, and welcome to another deep dive.
Ooh, spooky.
Today, we're heading to Hawaii to explore a legend that's both chilling and super ingrained in the island's culture. The Night Marchers.
I've heard of those.
We're going to be drawing insights from a podcast episode called The Night Marchers. Legend is real. True crime encounters in Hawaii.
Catchy title.
It's from the podcast Mystery Files.
I like it already.
Get ready for stories of ghostly warriors, eerie encounters, and the enduring power of belief.
I'm ready.
Oh, and before we get started, if you guys are enjoying these deep dives, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more.
Definitely.
Awesome.
It's amazing how this legend just keeps captivating people, and it even influences how people interact with the landscape in Hawaii.
Right.
It's not just a spooky story.
Yeah.
It's a window into a worldview where the line between the physical and spiritual realms is kind of blurry.
Totally. Okay, so let's set the scene for our listeners. Imagine yourself on a moonless night in Hawaii. You're near a site steeped in history, and suddenly you hear the distant beat of drums. And there's a faint smell of sulfur in the air.
What's happening?
What are you encountering?
Well, you might be encountering the Night Marchers.
Oh, no.
The legend describes them as these spectral figures, often warriors, all decked out in traditional Hawaiian garb.
I see.
They march in a totally silent procession, eternally guarding the islands and their sacred sites.
So you wouldn't want to just casually wave hello to these figures, right?
Definitely not. The legend warns that looking directly at the Night Marchers or disrespecting their path could have some serious consequences.
Oh, wow.
It could be fatal.
No way.
The only way to survive an encounter is to show the utmost respect, lie face down, avoid eye contact, and just hope they pass by without noticing you.
That's intense. It's more than just a spooky story, you know?
Yeah.
It speaks to a profound respect for the spirits and the land that seems to be woven into the fabric of Hawaiian culture.
Absolutely. This respect is deeply rooted in the concept of kapu, which means sacred or forbidden.
Right.
Certain places, individuals, even days of the week were considered kapu, demanding specific rituals and behaviors to avoid any spiritual repercussions.
So the Night Marchers, in a way, kind of embody this kapu.
Totally.
They're guardians of these sacred boundaries, ensuring that the ancient traditions and the spirits of the ancestors are honored.
Precisely. And the podcast we're looking at shares some chilling firsthand accounts that suggest this legend might be more than just folklore.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
One story involves a tour guide at Pali Lookout,
Okay.
a place known for its stunning views and,
Energetic vibes, for sure.
energetic vibes.
Yeah.
Late one night, while he's prepping for a sunrise tour, he hears distant drums.
Oh.
At first, he thinks it's just the wind, but then he sees these faint lights moving in a line towards him.
I remember that story. It gave me chills.
He hides terrified and watches as these shadowy figures just march past in complete silence. And as they pass, he catches a whiff of sulfur scent that's often associated with the supernatural in Hawaiian culture.
Definitely spooky. Talk about a close encounter.
Right.
It seems like Pali Lookout and other places with a strong spiritual significance might act as a conduit between the physical and spiritual worlds.
That's a fascinating idea.
Yeah.
And the encounters aren't limited to just Pali Lookout.
Oh, really?
The podcast also describes an incident near Kilauea Volcano where a hiker saw glowing lights moving in a line above the ground. And he just felt this overwhelming urge to flee.
The stories mention similar encounters at other volcanic sites, too. Is there a connection between these volcanic landscapes and the Night Marchers?
Well, in Hawaiian cosmology, volcanoes are considered super sacred, embodying the raw power of the gods.
Right.
It's possible that these landscapes, all infused with mana or spiritual energy, could create a pathway for the Night Marchers to manifest.
So these volcanic areas aren't just geological formations. They're sacred spaces full of power and meaning.
Right.
And these stories of glowing lights moving in formation.
Yeah.
Are these the Night Marchers themselves, or perhaps something else?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
While the lights could be interpreted as the torches or spiritual energy of the Night Marchers, they could also represent other entities in Hawaiian belief, like the Omakua,
What's that?
ancestral spirits who can appear in various forms.
So many questions. Are these sightings just a product of overactive imaginations fueled by the legend? Or is there something more to them?
Right.
Could the night marchers be like a manifestation of collective memory, psychic imprints left on the land by past events?
These are questions that have puzzled people for generations.
Yeah.
Some believe the night marchers are literal ghosts, spirits of ancient warriors bound to protect the islands.
I do that.
Others see them as manifestations of collective memory or psychic energy, echoes of past rituals or battles imprinted on the land.
It seems like, regardless of what you believe, the legend itself has a tangible impact on people's behavior.
For sure.
Even if someone doesn't believe in ghosts, they might still avoid certain areas at night or hesitate to disrespect the site associated with the night marchers.
Exactly. The belief, whether in the supernatural or simply in the power of the story, creates a sense of caution and reverence.
Right.
In a way, the legend has taken on a life of its own, shaping how people perceive and interact with the land.
So we have these chilling encounters, the concept of kapu and the idea of volcanoes as sacred gateways.
Yeah.
What's particularly interesting is that the podcast delves into specific locations known for night marcher activity, each with its own eerie tales to tell.
Right, and each location adds another layer to our understanding of this legend.
Okay.
For example, the podcast mentions Kaina Point, where campers have reported seeing shadowy figures moving down the beach.
Creepy.
Then there's Makapu'u Lookout, where witnesses describe figures carrying torches ascending the cliffside.
Okay, hold on a second. Torches ascending a cliffside.
Yeah.
That imagery is straight out of a horror movie.
It's certainly evocative, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the stories don't stop there. There's also the Waimea Falls Trail, where a hiker claimed to encounter figures with helmets and spears while hiking alone at dusk. It seems like these encounters often happen in places where the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is maybe a bit thinner.
Ooh, like a portal or something.
Right. The podcast even mentions Lahaina,
Right.
where a woman claimed to have encountered the night marchers but alongside a ghostly child.
Oh, wow. That adds another layer of, sadness to the legend.
Yeah.
It makes you think about the stories behind these figures. Are they all warriors? Are their families marching together for eternity?
It's a thought-provoking question. And the stories aren't just from, remote areas.
Right.
There are accounts from populated places like Kaneohe,
Okay.
where a resident saw figures in traditional dress just walking near her home.
Wow, so they're not just confined to ancient battlegrounds or volcanic landscapes.
Nope.
They seem to appear wherever their paths may lead, even in modern-day settings.
It's as if they exist outside of time, bound to their ancient purpose. And speaking of paths, there's the infamous Haiku Stairs, also known as the Stairway to Heaven,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that place.
where hikers have reported seeing lights and figures floating up the steps.
Floating figures. That's a whole other level of eerie.
Mhm.
Is there anything in Hawaiian belief that explains this ability to, defy gravity?
Well, there's a concept called Lena Kahone,
Okay.
which refers to places where spirits are believed to leap from the earthly realm into the afterlife.
I see.
Perhaps the Haiku Stairs, with its connection to the heavens,
Right.
serves as one of these spiritual jumping-off points.
That's an interesting connection. It highlights how the Night Marchers legend is tied to Hawaiian beliefs about the afterlife and the connection between the physical and spiritual realms.
It's not just about spooky encounters. It's about a worldview that acknowledges the presence of spirits as active participants in the living world,
Yeah.
watching over their descendants in the land.
And that these encounters, regardless of how you interpret them,
Right.
often highlight the importance of respect. There's a story about a visitor at Nuanu Pali who stayed late, hoping to catch a glimpse of the Night Marchers.
Not a good idea.
Probably not. He heard phantom footsteps and drumming, then saw shadowy figures approaching.
Oh, no.
Thankfully, he remembered the advice about lying face down as a sign of respect and lived to tell the tale.
He was lucky.
It seems like he narrowly avoided a potentially fatal encounter.
Totally.
It really underscores the idea that while these stories can be captivating, there's a need for caution and respect when dealing with forces beyond our understanding.
Exactly. The legend reminds us that there are consequences for disrespecting sacred places and traditions.
The podcast also mentions a family camping in Io Valley.
Oh, yeah.
They heard drums and chanting and immediately lay down as a sign of respect.
Smart move.
It seems like this knowledge is ingrained in Hawaiian culture. It's
Yeah.
more than just superstition.
Yeah.
It's a way of life, way of acknowledging the unseen forces at play.
It's a cultural practice that has endured for centuries. And what's even more fascinating is that the legend keeps appearing in modern-day reports.
Really?
What kind of reports? Well, the podcast mentions police reports from 2016 describing eerie lights and drums near a popular hiking area. The officers who responded felt uneasy, and some even claimed to see shadowy figures.
That's pretty unsettling. Even in a world of technology and science, these ancient beliefs persist.
It's true.
It makes you wonder if there's something more to these stories than we can rationally explain.
Absolutely. There's a certain mystery that surrounds the night marchers.
Yeah.
Are they simply echoes of the past, or do they represent something more tangible? Do they serve a purpose, or are they just bound to wander for eternity?
The most chilling story on the podcast is about a hiker who disappeared in Kalaw Valley back in 2008.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
He was warned not to camp in a specific area associated with the night marchers, but he ignored the advice. He was never seen again.
A tragic reminder that some places, some stories just demand our respect. It's as if the legend serves as a warning, urging us to remember the power of the unseen and the importance of respecting the traditions and beliefs that have shaped Hawaiian culture for centuries.
It raises the question, could the night marchers be a way for the past to communicate with the present, a way to make sure that the values and beliefs of the ancestors are not forgotten? Or could there be another explanation entirely?
This deep dive has taken us from chilling encounters and sacred landscapes to the heart of Hawaiian culture and its deep respect for the spirit world. The night marchers, whether they're literal spirits or symbolic representations, challenge us to consider the mysteries that lie beyond our immediate perception. It's like we've explored the chilling encounters, the historical roots, and the spiritual significance of these night marchers.
Yeah, but the big question remains. What are they really?
Right.
Are they ghosts, psychic imprints, or just elaborate folklore?
What's so fascinating is that there isn't one definitive answer. The legend itself is a tapestry woven from history, belief, and cultural memory.
Okay.
Some interpret them as literal ghosts, spirits bound to protect the islands.
Makes sense.
Others lean towards a more psychological explanation.
Oh, really?
Suggesting they could be manifestations of collective memory.
Interesting.
Or even hallucinations just triggered by the power of suggestion.
That's a good point.
And then there are those who view the legend as a form of cultural storytelling.
Yeah.
A way to instill respect for the land and the ancestors.
So it's like a choose-your-own-adventure explanation.
Yeah, kind of.
Whether you believe in the supernatural or prefer a more rational interpretation, the core message seems to be the same.
What's that?
Respect the land, respect the ancestors, and tread carefully in places where the veil between the worlds might be thin.
Exactly. And it's this respect that still shapes how people behave in certain places.
Right.
Even those who don't believe in the supernatural might still feel uneasy or choose to avoid certain areas associated with the night marchers, especially at night.
The legend has become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
In a way.
People are cautious because of the stories, and those cautious actions reinforce the belief that something is really out there.
Right.
It's really a testament to the power of stories and how they shape our view of the world.
Absolutely. The legend of the night marchers isn't just about fear or the supernatural. It reflects a worldview where spirits are a part of the natural order, where the ancestors aren't gone but present, watching over their descendants and the land.
So it's a reminder that we're part of something bigger.
Yeah, a continuum connected to those who came before us.
Right.
And responsible for those who will come after.
It challenges our modern, often secular worldview.
Yeah, in a world that emphasizes rationality and empirical evidence, these ancient beliefs offer a different way of seeing the world, a way that acknowledges the unseen forces at play.
It's not about proving or disproving ghosts. It's about understanding the power of belief, the legacy of the past, and the importance of respecting the stories and traditions that shape our cultural identity.
Well said.
This deep dive has been a journey into the heart of Hawaiian culture and its relationship with the spirit world. The night marchers, whether they're spirits or metaphors for deeper truths, serve as a reminder that the world is a much more mysterious and wondrous place than we often realize.
The legend invites us to consider the mysteries that lie beyond our perception, to acknowledge the power of belief, and to approach the world with a sense of wonder and respect.
I think that's a great place to wrap up.
Yeah.
We hope this exploration has sparked your curiosity about the night marchers and the amazing culture of Hawaii. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating explorations of history, culture, and the unexplained. Until next time, keep an open mind and stay curious.